Hello there, kitties. It is me, and I've just been through a week of hell, a very hellish week where pretty much all of the terrible things that you can imagine could happen during one week happened. And I've been slowly rebuilding my computer. It's one of my hobbies these days. And of course making videos. You might notice that I think my microphone is working better now, although the system doesn't seem to be working much faster. Of course there are many things running. Oh, I'm getting some good input now. One of the things that I discovered, and I might as well mention it because it's a really good thing. It's the thing that I always wanted. And I think it's actually saved me once already from like a virus or a Trojan or something like that. Because at some point I have to take the huge risk of installing that video downloading utility, which is the only one that I know that works well. And in here, where am I? Computer management, local security policy. Where are you? It's coming up. I found a setting that does for me and for anyone else the thing that should happen for installers that request administrative access. Okay, and that is that if such a program requires an elevation of privilege, that it must ask for every instance wherein it requires that privilege augmentation. Now where is that? Here? No. It's gotta be here somewhere. Oh, and also I learned about some of the audit policies. Now I may not have everything worked out properly. This here is good. This is a way to fake out a thing that thinks it has administrative access, that it's given the impression that it acquired the administrative access. No failures occur, but all it does is makes writes to your local current user registry in some virtualized area. Okay. Run all administrators at admin approval mode. I think that might be the one. You notice I just double clicked on that? It's enabled. Default is enabled, so it's not this one. Oh, there's two actually. Well, there's more than two, but there are two critical ones. One is the one I told you about. Here we go. No, that's not it. It'll come to me in a second, or I'll see it. It's for an application that's running in approval mode. So it's been given approval to do something. Well, all I gotta look for is if only it would show the default. I'd know what I changed. Machine and oh, I don't know what this is. Well, I'm not a domain controller. Interactive log? No, well, I should probably require this. See, then you could, an automated system could do an interactive logon without having to press these keys. Method, number, previous. Where are you? Let's see, I'm sure it's in here. Use certificate rules on Windows executables. Default disabled. Not it. Let's look at the default. Default is disabled, and this one's enabled. Okay, so what's this? Admin approval mode for the built-in administrator account. Enabled. Default is disabled. The built-in administrator account uses admin approval mode by default. Any operation that requires elevation of privilege will prompt the user to approve the operation. See? So, for instance, when you give administrator access to an installed program, you hand it the keys to your computer, that program can do whatever it likes, pretty much. But one thing it cannot do, right, is launch another program with the same rights. Any operation that requires elevation of privilege. Oh no, just elevation of privilege. So it could start another program as an admin, but it can't go any higher. And one of the things I noticed was I tried to install this after enabling this thing. I tried to install the MS-DEV service pack that I'm supposed to install for Windows 7. And one of the things I have set is that it doesn't automatically detect installers, by file name or anything. So first off, it didn't even ask for rights elevation, and that failed. But then I did run it as administrator, right? Because I ran the program, and it said, you must run the service pack in administrator mode, and I did that, and it still failed. Next time I got the same prompt. Then I disabled this thing and let it run, and I saw that what it was doing was it was elevating its privilege higher and higher and higher, and it had things running as like, anti-authority system and various things that would require an elevation of privilege, and it didn't prompt me for that elevation of privilege because it assumes the default, right? But the default wasn't true, and it thought it was getting its extra rights, and it wasn't, and it failed to complete its task. So that's one thing. The other thing is the one I just mentioned. Do not detect here. Disable this, and if you run an installation program, and its name is setup or something, it's not going to automatically prompt for privilege escalation. In fact, you can run most installers, and I do, and install them locally, and they run just fine. The programs run. I install them to my local programs files. It registers its components if it has to. Those are virtualized, so it can use COM and everything, and everything just works. But it's local, it's just for my account. That's two things. And the third thing is what I've been working on for about oh, well, you've got to understand about how bad my week was. See, first the internet went down, and that was just following my discovery that all of my restore points got wiped out by something, right? Who knows what. So I had to use the only other restore point I have, which is back to square zero. So then the internet stops working, and I've got to do this job without even access to the internet. But actually, it's okay. I have most everything. So I have everything, in fact, to install the operating system, and all of my programs that I use. And I don't want any updates or anything, so that that's good. I don't have to worry about things starting to connect to the internet on me. Then I woke up one morning and I had this horrible pain. I've had it before in my tooth. What I thought was one of my wisdom teeth. Well, it was a wisdom tooth, but the tooth that was the really badly infected one turned out to be like about a mile inside my skull, and so I had pretty much a quarter of my jaw like sawed off with a saw. It's a really awful feeling and sound to hear your face being just kind of chopped away like that, and the digging and pulling and digging and scratching. But the good thing is, at the end of the day, they give you all these great painkillers. So I'm a little drowsy right now, and feeling no pain, as it were. Although I don't think I would feel that much pain. The pain of the toothache was much, much worse. Yeah, but there's not enough dilaudid in that hospital or pharmacy to keep me happy. Yeah, so then the internet went out, and I lost half of my jaw, and I can only, it's all stitches back there now. It took out 3 teeth, and so I can't chew on my right side. I can only chew on my left side for the next 2 months while the wound heals. And I'm supposed to be cleaning it all the time, but I'm too lazy. Just take more antibiotics. I'll just go to the pharmacy and buy more and more antibiotics. So nothing, I can put anything in there and it'll be fine. And then just tonight, probably because of the Dilaudid, I spent about, I don't know, 6 hours maybe trying to write a single batch file. Actually, I gotta get rid of one file I put in here by accident. Oh, did I not? No, it's not. Well, no, I'll use that somewhere. If you just run a batch file, that exits a batch file. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Here's my the greatest batch file in the world. Because I've always wondered, and I wondered tonight because I'm encoding this video, and it's such a long job that I have to stop it every now and again because the processor will overheat and the machine will reboot, and I'll lose like 24 hours worth of encoding. But anyway, here it is running. Okay, and I wanted to time how long it would take at normal speed, which I could let it'll run at this priority. Look at the speed at which it's encoding at. It may take a minute to kick in. Just started. How long it'll take to do 10%? So I thought, well, okay, the little clock in the corner here, it must be a stopwatch, right? Where you can say start, stop, to find out how much time elapsed. But no, to this day, that feature does not exist. Now, maybe if I just adjust this, they're moving. Here's the processor usage. It's doing something. Probably trying to think. Okay, there we go. Now this claims 18 hours remaining, but I don't think it'll be more than maybe 10. If I put it on high, well, yeah. I don't think I can put it on high. Well, maybe I can. I'm just worried about losing the audio and the video on this video. Oh, that's why it's going so slow, because it's in competition with this pig. And this pig's a real pig. They're both pigs. In any case, I should leave it as a puzzle, but I won't because it's too painful to do it. Let's get rid of some of this mess here. Oh, well, I should keep this one up. Anything else I might want to get rid of? No. Well, I don't need that around. Okay, stopwatch. Now the thing that you want with a stopwatch program, right, is you don't want to have it stop. I mean, this is what kept screwing me up so badly, is the way that this batch file works. I type stopwatch, alright? Now, you see what's happened, okay? a window popped up and then it disappeared. Now that other window is doing the counting, and I'm back on my command prompt, and the other window is hidden. Well, it's here. Oh no, it's hidden. Sorry, it's hidden. I have a program to hide windows, not put it in the system tray. So it's just sitting there counting time, and that's a perfect stopwatch. Now the question is, now how do I find out how much time has elapsed? I use the same batch file and say stop, and it tells me that 36 seconds elapsed from when I started to when I stopped. Pretty good, huh? Now I'll show you how it works. Just the one batch file. Oh, how about we go into big mode? No, better not. Because we need this outer view to see it go and do its thing. There are 3 cases, alright? Now, first is the first case that's mentioned happens to be the last case that I used, where I typed in the word stop. In that case, what it does, what this batch file does, is it creates a file with its own name but with the extension text. And it sleeps for 1 second to give the ticking batch file enough time to discover that file, right? And fill it in with some data. Because that thing ticks around once. Maybe it should be a little bit more than 1 second. I don't know. I don't think so though, because it takes time to get to here, and this thing will be running in kind of all memory mode. So this thing will be running. This is the loop. So let's look at the case where I didn't say stop. Okay, another possibility is I said start, right? But you probably didn't notice me type the word start, and I didn't. So what I in fact did type was just stopwatch. And what stopwatch does then is it launches an instance of this batch file with the parameter start, and then goes to the end of the file, right? And then that's it. It's finished. It's done its job. Okay, so it's launched another instance, but in a different command box with the command line start. That brings us back into here, and then it sets the title of that command box to the word hide me. Then it will move down here, set a counter to 1 second because it's going to sleep for 1 second, just to give enough time to make sure that the title gets set, and call actually I don't need to put this path in. It will acquire the environment as the parent. Show wind, hide me, but show wind shows windows unless you say /h, in which case it hides visible windows with this name. Now normally it took me more hours to figure out why this wasn't working. I couldn't hide the window, but the thing is I had a protection against this, because the problem with a program that we want to use to hide another program, let's say by title, right? For a partial string match, in fact in this case it has to be a full string match, but it could be partial. is that the command line, whatever you type, winds up temporarily on the title bar, and often you'll get 2 hits. The command box where you type the command will come up as a match as well as the window you're trying to hide. You see what I mean? And it doesn't know which one to hide. So I have a protection in there for that. But then I realized that I don't need that protection because if it finds one window with the text, given text, and that window happens to be the command box, then that was had to have been the window that I was referring to, right? If it finds more than one with that match, then it deletes one, right? And the one that it deletes is the one with the handle to window matching the command box. So in both cases, then isolate the window that has a given text and throw out the one that you don't want. Then all this is doing is waiting every second, counting up this ticker. If it happens to see a file with its name.txt, then it goes to make a report. Now I could use 2 files. This is kind of silly, to have one, and there's a chance I might miss it, but whatever. If it sees a file with this name, it goes to report and computes the hours, minutes, and seconds, and puts zeros in front if necessary, and then echo out this string, but not to the console, because this is the hidden window. Puts it back in that same file. See? Now this guy that has just done that, the stopwatch with stop command, has created that file with just a single letter in it. It waits a second, and then types out the contents of the same file, then deletes the file, and then it goes to the end of the file, and in that way it ends up printing out the message that was planted in there by the hidden window. And it all works seamlessly, and just like a stopwatch should work. It's not in your face, it's happening in the background, and it's counting up time. In this case, actually just change to 30, and I'm going to have to turn the fan on and put this up. And I'm going to find out. So anyway, I'll upload this video, and I'm sorry about me being so kind of out of it right now, but I'm in the healing. I'm healing, as they say. I've had a traumatic experience. Well, actually, it wasn't really that traumatic at all. Most of the trauma was dealing with those dentists. I hate them. They make you feel guilty for what was I supposed to do? Brush underneath my jaw? I don't know. But, he's giving me this advice about how I should take proper care of my teeth. And, I do those things that you're supposed to do, except the one thing that I don't do, which I should do, and everyone should do, is I don't go to the dentist on a regular basis. Because every time I go to see a dentist, they try to make me feel guilty, try to guilt me into doing something, I don't know, into coming back more often, I guess, and providing them with a higher paycheck. Anyway, but that's the way things are. Okay, well, this is actually quite an interesting thing if it ever completes. It's a band, and it's very similar to that Go-Go Penguin band. In fact, this is before Go-Go Penguin, and it's the band. It's really just one guy who kind of came up with that style of music. But then, very unfortunately, he was killed like a year after becoming a notable person. He got into a car accident and died. Anyway, so things could be worse. Always remember. See, and I can't believe that I finally got this working. It's been tough, man. There's so much to set up.